the Iceman.
Can we get the spot off, please?
Having a season like no other player.
I was going to say, Jim, if you find yourself 2-0 down in the Mosconi Cup, if you could pick any player to win back a point for you, it's got to be Mika, isn't it? The game's greatest player at the moment.
And just waiting. Just get one of the technical issues sorted, and
thank you. First rack, Europe
Mika
to break.
Settles into the break. It's a race to 6, and as yet, Europe with no points. In the cut break, and 2 balls past the head string. And I don't think he's got a shot. You can see this too. Well, that's where the happy stories end.
Mika, along with Ralph, he's making his 13th appearance, which is a record for any European in this year's Mosconi Cup.
Yeah, he's got that 6 acting as a goalie over that corner pocket. So Mika's going to have to try and sort out a defensive shot here. And with this first shot, 60 seconds allowed. Well, I'll tell you what, if he snookers in here, what a shot that is. But I'm not too sure. Very risky.
Didn't really want to hit the jaw of that pocket. If he would have called it a bit thicker, it would have rolled down the rail.
But I think he got away with it. But Shane may be able to jump over this.
Very difficult shot. There'll be a few players out there that have accidentally played this shot down the local pool hall or snooker club. They've got the smaller cue out, the jump cue's out. You've got to strike down on the cue ball
and effectively bounce it off the bed of the table. That's a good effort from Van Boening. He's left himself a long 3.
I think this is one of the most difficult shots to play in 9-ball. And I tell you what, Jim, Van Boening, he looked very good in the opening match tonight, didn't he?
He looked very settled, and you know, Shane has not had a year to remember to this point. But it could all be, well, right about when we're to laud the way this young man is playing, he shows us the first mistake.
I've always wanted to be guilty of the commentator's curse, Jim. A prime example. That can only be nerves.
Well, you don't have a lot of time to settle in. The pressure of the Mosconi Cup is relentless. And you know, in stark contrast, Mika didn't look good at all in the first team match that was played here. So we'll see if he finds another gear in this one. And this game is all about confidence and self-belief.
I think he'll just drop this in. Take the black into the corner pocket. Couple of ways to play. He could pot this, come round for the 9-ball in the opposite corner, or he could just stun. There you go, stunned it in. First blood to the Europeans, Jim.
And very notable how quick he's going through these two. Just like that, Immonen jumping on the mistake from Van Boening. Opens with the first rack. But it was a miss on the 3 from Shane Van Boening that really allowed Immonen that opportunity. Just caught it a bit too thick here, Andy.
I'll tell you what, looking at that, I think the white ball left the baize there. I don't know if he got a kick on that or bad contact, but the white certainly jumped when contact was made.
Been one of America's best players the last 3-4 years has Van Boening. Former US Open champion, former BC Open champion. Again, another look. Tough to tell if that cue ball jumped, but either way, the end result.
Thank you. Second rack.
Saw Van
USA
Boening
to
back to
break,
his chair
trailing by one
somewhat
rack to nil.
prematurely. Rack number 2. Once again, a legal break, and just to remind our viewers, 3 balls have to pass that head string on the break. Every ball pocketed counts as a ball having passed the head string. In this case, the 1 into the side, and you see the 4 and the 5 come through the head string to make it a legal break. That was a nifty shot from Shane. Planting that 2 onto the 5. And now he's going to slice it down the corner pocket.
Don't expect him to miss from here.
Going to take a good positional shot from the 4 to the 6, however, because that 6 doesn't pass into the corner. It really only goes into that side pocket that he's cueing over now. So he'll need an angle on this. And I'm not sure he's got one. Oh, he forced it in. You'd like that cue ball to have traveled a little further, however. But again, just like Immonen, you waste little time.
Doesn't have to do too much. Putting a left-hand side or a bit of English on. Again, over. Oh, there's a clap. Again, just dropping these balls in. Should win from here. It makes it so much easier, Jim, when you don't have to do anything with the cue ball, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And he's perfect here. Be able to knock this in and just let the cue ball float over towards the 9. And it'll be a distance from the cushion to make cueing easy. These are the kind you like to have to see to win racks. And just like Mika Immonen, Shane Van Boening looking very comfortable in that rack. 1-1 the score, the race to 6.
Welcome back to Vegas for the opening session of the 16th Mosconi Cup. Team USA have taken the opening 2 points. Mika Immonen for Europe is fighting hard to give the men in blue their first win of this campaign, but he is facing the very talented Shane Van Boening. They're all level after the opening 2 racks as we join them at the start of the 3rd.
For a big innings here. Settling into the break. Shane Van Boening opposing him. Europe eager to get off the mark.
Where's the white going?
Ball shot. Ball in hand.
Yeah, Europe is really fighting it right now, and I think it's fair to say that they're not getting many good rolls either.
Start the clock.
We've seen the white point a lot from the break, Jim. Are you surprised at the lack of control, cue ball control from the break off today?
You can't legislate for that, though, Andy. I mean, that was kicked into the corner pocket. He pulled it over to the side cushion, and a ball knocked it right into the top corner. So it is what it is. But with ball in hand now, Van Boening, there's an issue at the bottom end of the table as we look. It looks like the 3 and the 8. So that's a cause for concern as far as Shane trying to get out in this one visit. So important here now. The angle on this too.
He doesn't want to overcook this. He'd rather under hit it. And at least he's got a shot on the 3.
Oh, he can pinch this pocket. And trying the 3 may even go. And the way that Shane's played this, it may pass into the bottom right corner.
Played that well. He's played that very well.
I'll tell you what, if this 3 goes, what a great shot that is from Van Boening.
Oh, that flies in. That absolutely flies in. That was such a great shot. To manoeuvre the white between those two balls on this table, which is like an ice rink out there, that was a great shot.
Oh, and he went from one great shot to a horrible one. The adrenaline just flowing a little too strong in Van Boening's veins there.
Yeah, overcooked that by a good foot. There are a lot of 9-ball players like the double. I mean, it's so risky on these tables. It's so hard to control this shot, Jim.
Yeah, he's looking right now. I mean, he's got the double or the bank shot into the opposite side pocket. I mean, it'd be a very difficult shot to try and knock this into the side and run the cue ball all around the angles. So, you know, I'd rather see Shane opt for a little discretion here and just clip the edge of that. He's got a wall of colors to hide behind. Clip the left-hand edge as we look. Well, it looks like he might be taking the bank on. And I guess if you can knock him in like that, why not? He's kind of nodding like he's not too happy, but that looked to be a great shot.
Way too early to talk MVP, but he certainly had a great opening day.
And that cue ball just slithered up far enough to leave this 6 on. I thought he was going to be a little short of pace here as well.
He'll probably be trying to put the 7 into the same pocket here. No, he's trying to come around it.
He's got the angle, knock this 7 into the side, and should drop nicely onto the 8. Just cueing near that side cushion, but this shouldn't hamper him too much. So important in the game of 9-ball to punish a mistake. And when you get the opportunity, you've got to plant your opponent in his chair. And Shane knows that he's got the break in the neck, so he's got a chance to park Mika in that chair for 2 racks. USA 2-1 in front. Van Boening has won the last 2. And we'll have the break in rack number 4. But it was all about the bank here from Van Boening. A very aggressive option. And he took it over the finish line.
Wiped his feet a bit. Still a cracking shot. Jimmy, let me ask you, how important do you think Dennis Hatch is going to be for the Americans? Because in recent years in the Mosconi Cup, obviously with all the Pearl, there's been, I think it's fair to say, a divide, you know, an unrest in the team. Now they look more of a team. And the Europeans don't have anyone that can G them up, whereas when Hatch is out there, he's G'ing them up, he's making his debut in the Mosconi Cup. He's the one that's giving it the wolf whistles, the howling.
Break, leading by 2 racks to 1.
And they just look a more composed unit this year.
Well, as well as Van Boening's playing, for me right now, Hatch has been the story to this point in day 1. Shane with the break, 2-1 in front. No, it's not going to be a lead. Well, he's got 2 down, but 3 balls didn't pass the head string. I don't think that's a legal break.
Let's have another look.
Well, I'm pretty sure 2 went down and
2 have gone in.
And only 2 down and 1 down. That's a legal break. So no.
Well, 3 down.
Oh, sorry, there's 3 down. Yes.
It's your eyesight, Jim.
Yeah, the eyes. I saw that one go past the head string, and that was the 3rd ball, and it went into the corner pocket. So a legal break from Shane. And my apologies to Michaela Taub. But there, a different story.
Jim, looking at the score now, 2-0 to the USA, the race to 11. I distinctly remember you saying this might not even get to Sunday. Change your mind?
Well, it was wishful thinking. I've got some Christmas shopping to do.
I don't think you'll be doing it.
Well, America has definitely come out here on day 1 and made a statement. And the push out called from Van Boening. So Mika will have the option to put Shane back in or accept this shot. But you know, as I said, Europe have been in this position before. They've got a wealth of experience,
Reset the clock.
Mosconi Cup experience,
Start.
in comparative terms to Team USA, who are shouldering 2 rookies this year.
But they are in the unusual position, Jim, that they are favourites. And I know you used to play
heavy favourites.
You used to play a lot of snooker yourself, and you were obviously never the favourite in any match. What was it like being the underdog, Jim?
It was fun.
He's gone for it. He's missed it.
I don't think he's going to be happy with this either.
Didn't really control the cue ball. Has he got away with that? I think he can get through. No, you can't really tell from that angle.
He can certainly hit it. I don't know whether or not he can see enough to make it.
I think it's very tight. I think he can get through to pot this.
No, he can take this off that right-hand cushion, bottom cushion as we look, and get the cue ball up behind colors.
He's played safe.
No, he's left a window for Mika. A little opening, I think.
He had a great target to aim for. White just got away from it. I think he can nick this in. Always difficult to control the cue ball when there's such a big gap between cue ball and object ball. Now where is this cue ball going? He's got it. He's okay.
Very nice. He'll take that in a New York minute. 4 into the side, 5 bottom right.
This, Jim, is why they call him the Iceman.
When he won the U.S. Open in October, that was back-to-back U.S. Opens. The first time any player had done that in 20 years. The last to accomplish the feat, the non-playing captain for Team USA, Nick Varner.
In your opinion, how good is Mika?
Again, when he won the world title in Cardiff, I think it was 2000, 2001, I thought he was playing his best pool. I think he's taken it to a different level this year. I don't know of any single player that has had the type of year that Mika Immonen is enjoying, and it's not over yet. 9 down. And the score now 2-2. And Mika, full of confidence, he's got to try and send some of that negative energy over to Shane Van Boening and Team USA.
Welcome back to the opening session of the Mosconi Cup. It's Europe against the USA, 1 point per match, and the opening 2 games have gone the way of the Americans. In the third, Mika Immonen is fighting to register Europe's first point.
2-0. They've lost the first 2 matches. Mika Immonen right now in
Thank
match
you,
number
rack
3 of
five.
day 1.
Europe to break 2 racks
Level
each.
2-2 with Shane Van Boening. And he's got the break. Rack number 5. Such an important point, really, from a European perspective. You know, we talked about the rookies on both sides. Darren Appleton, he's the rookie on Team Europe. Former World 10-ball champion, the reigning Whirlpool Masters champion. As we see Mika's break again. But Andy, you've got a little bit of a history with Darren
Wind
Appleton.
down, please.
Yeah, about 4 years ago when I was doing the English 8-ball for Sky, the European Championships, Darren won that. And I played him a quick frame afterwards. They kept the audience in, the commentary team. I borrowed someone's cue and broke off and cleared up. As I actually said to him, don't bother chalking your cue, you won't get a shot.
Yeah, I know you sent me the link to YouTube. I watched it, and Appleton, all he could do, the grin was planted on his face. Well, that was a risky shot from Mika there, but pretty Pretty good win, that one, for our presenter.
I was quite pleased.
Yeah, but that's we won't remind Darren Appleton of that one. Andy.
No, we will. I remember when just after I beat him, I came off. My wife was there, and she wasn't smiling. I said, "Why aren't you smiling?" And she said, "How would you feel if you won the European title and the presenter just beat you?" I thought, good point.
Well, now does Shane have the courage to go at this combination or this plan? The 4 onto the 6. It's there, and it could well be a rack winner if he gets it.
I'll tell you what, it's far from easy.
Oh, the distance between the cue ball and the 4. This would have to be struck so well.
And I think hard as well. You can't roll these.
He fluked it. He fluked it. He stays at the table. Now we saw him take a bank shot on earlier on. Here's another look at the fluke.
It's not the way he played it, but he won't care.
But I really can't see him taking the bank shot here. I think he'll just try and get that cue ball in behind that brown 7. Try and bank the 6 up towards the 8.
You know, I was going to say, you don't think he'll go for this?
How about that shot? What a shot from Van Boening there.
That is confidence.
Supreme confidence. And you know what? When you've got a player like Mika Immonen that you're looking at in the opposing chair, Andy, you might as well put your shoulder to the door. You're not going to back into the win.
And not only that, what does it do for the confidence of the Europeans, knowing that the game's best player in the world at the moment, arguably, Mika Immonen, if he can't get the point, who can?
And Shane Van Boening now 3-2 over Mika Immonen. What a shot on that 6 ball from Van Boening. Tremendous effort.
This
Worth
is what
another look.
A bit of confidence. Look at this shot. Absolutely brilliant.
And never looked out. And that's the kind of shot that will set the American fans alight.
He never gives anything away, does he, Shane? We call Mika the Iceman, but I'll tell you what, you don't get much from him.
This is really a turn-up for all the experts, the pundits.
Rack 6.
Europe
USA
looks
to break,
so strong.
leading by 3 racks to 2.
I concurred with so many. I thought this was easily the best European team I'd ever seen. And there's the USA captain, Nick Varner, on the left, just talking to his good buddy, Johnny Archer. And Archer already has helped to secure 2 vital points. And now Van Boening wants to do his part. 3-2 leads. 2 down and 1 past the head string. A legal break. But it looks like he's completely snookered, or as they say in America, hooked on that 3. So he could push out here. That's what he's looking at, where he's standing. Just push that cue ball to that top cushion. The only problem is, well, can he get through between the 8 and the 9? To hit this 3? He was queuing up at it. He doesn't want to leave himself, if he does push, the issue here is you don't want to leave yourself too difficult of a reply, because you're going to be the one quite likely coming back to the table. But it looks like he can get that cue ball between the 9 and the 8. The only problem is there isn't a safety on offer. And the extension asked for and given to Shane Van Boening. 30-second shot clock employed here. Each player allowed 1 extension per rack.
Now, I know it's early days, but he's not left a combination there, has he?
Well, not from that position, he hasn't. He would have to cut that 3. He would have to defy the laws of physics to make this combination.
It's been done before, Jim.
Using the 9 to hold the 3 to the bottom cushion. But he's left Shane a pretty easy reply.
I wonder if we'll be taking this on. Oh, he's queuing up. No, that's a very good safety. Very good safety.
Keeping the handcuffs on Immonen.
Tell you what, 3-2 down, Mika. And a spot of bother out there, Jim. He's your banker, isn't he, Mika? When you're 2-0 down in the Mosconi Cup, your opening day, and you think, do you know what, I'm going to put Mika on third. I don't think we'll be in a position where we'll be desperate for our first point, but he's the one.
Well, you know, that's exactly what Alex Lely was thinking. Here's a chance for the 9.
Do you play the white onto the 9, or do you play the combination, Jim?
Well, he's looking at it right now. The combination is available, but I've got a feeling that he may play the billiard.
Yeah.
It's almost like an in-off.
Yeah, he'll be trying to send the white towards the 9.
He's got it. 4-2 now. Europe in all kinds of trouble. And the American side letting everybody know as we again see this billiard shot executed successfully from Van Boening. Is it too early for the alarm bells to go off in the European camp?
Do you know what? I don't think it is. I think they're going off well and truly, Jim. 2-0 down on the opening day, your red-hot favourite. Some people didn't even think, Jim, it would go into the final day's play. All of a sudden, you're staring 3-0 in the face.
And bear in
Rack
mind,
7,
as you look at
Europe
Alex
to
Lely
break,
and Darren
trailing by
Appleton,
4 racks
that
to 2.
Mika cannot play another singles match. So you've got your banker out there right now. If he tastes defeat in this, that will be a blow that Team Europe may not recover from. 4-2 to Van Boening as Immonen breaks rack number 7.
Well,
it's a long way to go. 4 days of intense action here in Las Vegas. And you need 11 points to secure the Mosconi Cup. But Europe are finding themselves in a hole. And Team America is showing all the confidence and self-belief that you expected from Team Europe.
there was no room for error on that shot.
Well, that's been the pattern for Mika in the last 3 events that he's won. Every time he's had to come out and produce the goods. And he's found them.
Some players, Jim, play better when they're up against it, when there's a bit of pressure on them. Is Mika one of those players? Do you expect him to perform more so now that he's 4-2 down?
You know something, he went through a dry patch a few years ago, and I really questioned whether he was ever going to find that confidence again. But Mika, right now, probably believes he is unstoppable. And it doesn't matter who sits across from him. And again, a testament to that simple fact that Alex Lely saw fit to put him out in the first singles match. He wanted to make a statement. He did not want to give America even a chance, a glimmer of hope. And it could well backfire on Alex.
Just drop this in, and we're looking at 4-3.
But to discount all these world title holders that are wearing blue shirts, you do that at your peril. 4-3 to Shane Van Boening. Mika, a much-needed break and finish there.
Welcome back to the Mosconi Cup. It's Team USA who are in charge in this opening session. They've taken the opening 2 games, and in the third, European hopes rest with Mika Immonen.
One of the nicest players on the circuit is Mika. Very good personality. A bit like sort of Stephen Hendry and Steve Davis, that they look, they give nothing away, very dry sense of humour, but when you meet them off the table...
USA to break, leading by 4 racks to 3.
The South Dakota kid, Shane Van Boening.
We've seen the white flying a few times on the break-off. How much would Alex Lely like to see the white go in now?
Illegal break, control passes.
Well, that's our first illegal break in this match. So control passes to Mika Immonen. That's the sort of opening that Europe was looking for. But watch it again. 3 balls have to pass that head string. Every ball pocketed counts, and only the one went in.
Obviously the white went back there, but that doesn't count.
Now this, you know something, I'm not sure Shane understands the rule there. Because couldn't he have put Mika back in? No, quite possibly not. Well, that, you know something, in fairness, Andy,
30 seconds on the clock,
that
please.
benefited
Thank
Mika.
you.
Because now he's got the choice, and he's electing to kick at this.
It's a great shot.
That was a good shot. Very nicely controlled.
I think we'll be seeing the jump cue here. Now, the distance between cue ball and object ball is quite something here. And not only will he be looking to hit this, but I promise you Shane will be looking to pop this.
Foul shot.
Again,
Ball in hand.
Well, he
the
potted
chance for Europe. It's there. Mika's just got to be equal to it. Everything in the open. And I don't see any obstacles for the Iceman.
Oh, it wasn't far away from the pot.
He definitely tried to pocket that too, but just catching it too thick. And this should get Mika back to 4-4. Mika and Team Europe.
Also, Jim, in the last match, we've got the captain's choice, if you like, where the captain of Team Europe, Alex Lely, will be picking the player he'd like to see turn out for America and vice versa. That's new to the Mosconi Cup.
It is. First year.
Oh, my word. Well, I cannot believe that.
Van Boening was out of his chair so fast, and what a horrific miss from Mika Immonen there.
You know what, you think you've seen everything, and then all of a sudden, the best player on the planet misses a ball he would expect to pot 100 out of 100.
This is going to get them to the hill. 5-3, Shane's going to be leading Immonen. Parks the 9. And that miss duly punished. And what negative seeds have been planted in Mika Immonen's brain. 5-3, America in front. How tough is that one going to be to forget?
Well, what's that down to, Jim? I mean, there was no bad contact there. He didn't have to do anything with the cue ball. I mean, that's just a prime example of taking your eye off the ball, isn't it?
Sometimes you just don't give the shot the respect it's due. You get down, and I mean, I'd hazard to say that a player with the experience of a Mika Immonen and all the world
Rack
titles
9,
that he possesses,
Europe to break, trailing by 5 racks to 3.
you know, would just be careless. But what else can you account it for?
How big is this break?
Needs that 2 to drop,
Illegal
and
break,
it isn't
control
going to.
passes.
And this is the chance at the finish line for Shane Van Boening.
Don't often see that. Not one down.
Well, it's a tricky one, and he'd like to drop below the 2 to play the 2 into the top left corner.
Let's play that one.
Well, here's the big shot. If he gets this and lands on the 3, he's going to have this rack at his mercy.
Too
Big
tight,
shot.
too tight and too close to play the centre pocket, so he's playing this down the route. Oh, that's great.
Bumps the 3 into position. He'll draw back for the 4. Dead on, perfect stop shot for the 5 bottom left. And I think Mika Immonen can start unscrewing his cue.
Well, Jim, you said before the competition started that it's the strongest European lineup ever. You might even have Sunday off to do a bit of Christmas shopping. I'll tell you what, Jim, you might be having Sunday off, but only because USA are powering this at the moment. Could you ever imagine 3-0?
Well, I knew USA were up for it. Still a long ways to go.
That's not what you said to me, Jim.
Well, I said America was going to be tough, Andy. But on paper, Team Europe, so strong individually, but could they play and perform as a team? Look at Dennis Hatch there again. You know, just staying in the middle of it, soaking it up, and living every shot, whether he's at the table or away from it. Well, he'd like that to have traveled a little further down table. So a tricky 7 for Van Boening here.
Doesn't have to do anything with the whiteboard. It's going to hit that cushion and just come straight up towards the black 8.
Yeah, he'll probably play this off 2 cushions.
Extension.
He doesn't want to hit the 8. That cue ball is going to be tracking up towards the 8, but when you're nervous and you've got a big shot like this, you want to let your cue out.
You think 2 cushions?
Well, you know something I was about to say, I remember Doug Mountjoy saying this to me when we talked about...
I've told you about names dropping, Jim.
About being nervous when you were playing snooker, and he said, when you're nervous, hit the shot harder.
What does Doug know?
What does Doug know? Great shot from Van Boening there. Slowly rolled it in. That's Art Wiggins on the left, Johnny Archer's mentor, and his good friend Nick Varner, center picture, the captain of this year's team. Hatch in behind, Archer there. Corey Deuel and Oscar Dominguez, well, they're on the practice table because they're coming up next. And they'll be up against Ralph Souquet and Thorsten Homan. But Shane Van Boening has just staked Team America to a 3-0 lead. Who'd have believed it? Off to a flyer, USA 3, Europe 0.
A very satisfying start for Team USA. 3 wins out of 3 and on track to reclaim the trophy that the Europeans have held for the last 2 years. Europe now look to the talents of Ralph Souquet and Thorsten Homan, but they face Corey Deuel and the world #1 Oscar Dominguez. Both teams searching for a vital point in the race to 11 in this year's Mosconi Cup.